Hi, I'm Andy Jones, and over the next 7 days I'll be showing you the first steps to teaching yourself to play the guitar. I want to take you from a complete beginner through to someone with the confidence and the tools to consider themselves a guitarist. And you can take this at your own pace. There's no rush, just take your time and enjoy. First, some housekeeping. Like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future lessons. Use the comments section to let me know what type of guitar you've got and your personal goals, songs you'd like to be able to play, anything you're struggling with. I've put chapters in the pinned comments so you can skip around and repeat any section you're working on. And finally, whether you have an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar and want to play rock, pop, blues, whatever, everything I'll be teaching you applies as your first steps as a guitarist. Okay, so first of all, let's give you a quick tour of the guitar. This is my acoustic guitar. We have the bridge, which is at this end. This bit where the strings are anchored over there, that's called the bridge. On this electric guitar, this is the bridge here. And right down here at the other end, we've got the nut. So between the nut and the bridge, we've got our strings. Nice and tight. These are the tuners where you can tighten or loosen the strings to get them to the right pitch. Now, if you don't have a guitar tuner, I have one of these Snark tuners, handily clipped to the headstock of my guitar. And when I turn that on and pluck a string, it will tell me what note's playing. But I do have a video, which I'll put a card up here for, or here, and a link in the description that demonstrates how to tune your guitar so you can start training your ear, which is a skill that's totally worth practicing anyway, even if you do have a tuner. Our lowest string is an E note. The next string is an A. The next string is a D. Then we have a G. Then there's a B. And then finally we have a high E. Those are the same note, but that one's higher than that one. Once you've got your guitar in tune, the next thing you'll need is some chords to get practicing so you can start playing songs. Because as far as I'm concerned, the sooner you can be playing a song, 2 songs, 3 songs, the more likely you are to stick at it. If you're just looking at theory, music stuff that you just, there's so much stuff you can learn that it can be overwhelming. Whereas if you just start learning some chords, so you can play some songs that you already know or can sing, you'll start to make progress a lot quicker. So what are the first chords I'm going to show you today? I'm going to show you the chords G, C, and D. And I'm showing you those because there are hundreds of songs you can play with those chords, and it's a great starting point to get used to changing between chords, how to read chord boxes, and basic guitar tab, which I will demonstrate now. So the first chord I'm going to show you is a G chord. We're going to put our middle finger on this low E string on the 3rd fret. Now when I say you put it on the 3rd fret, count up 3 frets. Now this here, the metal bit, that's the fret wire, but I'm referring to just before that because that's where you want to put your finger when you fret a note. You put it before the fret wire, which shortens the length of the string, resulting in a higher pitch. So you've got E, but if you put your finger on the 1st fret, you've got an F note. I want you to put your middle finger on your fretting hand on the 3rd fret on the low E string. So we're going to go open, 1, 2, 3. So this is where we're going to put it. This means that your 1st finger can go on the 2nd fret on the A string, which is this note. So we count up, we're going to go open, 1, 2. So that's going to be there. So your 1st finger is going to be there. Your middle finger is going to be here. So you got. The next 2 strings are going to be open. So we're going to. So far of this G chord, you've got. And then, if you can, put the remaining 2 fingers on the 3rd fret on the B string and the high E. That's a G chord. That's an open G chord. So what you might find when you're starting out is you'll dampen some strings, so they won't quite ring out. If that's the case, try and look for what's causing the dampening. So in this example, it's because my first finger is rubbing against the string here, and we don't want that. So you just want to adjust your position slightly so that this finger is only touching the string it's meant to be touching. If you're not quite pushing down hard enough, you'll get, they won't ring out. And if you're pushing down too hard, you'll hurt your fingers. So you just want to find a nice steady middle ground where you're feeling comfortable and can strum the chord. So that's a G chord. And you'll have noticed on the screen, I will have put, I mean, this looks like a good space. I'll put the chord box. So this is a chord box. The chord box shows us where to put our fingers using the dots. So if you look at it, it represents the nut. It represents the nut of the. So if we check out this chord box for the chord that I've just showed you, you've got the nut. We've got the nut about here. So there's like 2 lines to show. Look, we've got the nut here, and then we've got each fret going down. So you can count up: 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th. If the chord box is going to show you a 4th fret, depends on the chord, but we've got 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. The red dots are showing us to put our fingers there. Now, some chord boxes will show you which fingers to use. I'm not going to do that. I'll describe it in the videos by all means, but you will as a guitarist find the most comfortable way of playing each of the chords, and it's context dependent as well, because to play guitar you need to change between the chords. Now sometimes the laziest and quickest way to do that is the better one, as opposed to what the chord box says is the best fingering for the chord. You'll see that above the nut we've got some O's I've put in there. Now if you see an O there, that means you're playing that string open. And what I'll show you with the next chords, the next 2 chords that I'm going to show you today, is that the strings that we don't want to play have got an X above them. So that would mean that we're not picking those strings. So the next chord I'm going to show you is a C chord, which is here. As you'll see in the chord box, I've got an X over the E strings. We don't pick the low E string at all. So the first note we're going to hit is going to be on the A string, which is fretted at the 3rd fret with our ring finger. And then obviously you have your open strings and the other one. So that's another chord to practice. So the first one is G, and you've got C. And then the final chord I'm going to show you today is D, with your ring finger on the B string at the 3rd fret. Your middle finger is going to be on the 2nd fret on the high E string, and your first finger is going to come down on the 2nd fret on the G string. The lowest note you're going to play is a D note, which is this open one. We don't play these lowest 2 strings. So we're going to go. And that's a D chord. Now different orders of these chords are going to give you a number of different songs, but these are the chords I want you to strum through. So really take a look at those chord boxes, draw them out yourself, get them into your head. Even when you're not playing the guitar, you can be thinking about playing the guitar, and trust me, you'll sleep on it, and next time you pick it up, you'll be that little bit better. It's the magic of learning in the human brain. I'm also going to show you how to read guitar tab, which is something when you're looking up how to play a song, how some people have written out the song so you can work out where to put your fingers and what strings to play. So those chords that I've shown you as chord boxes can also be shown like this. So I put them here. You'll see that they are all in a line and they've got numbers. The numbers tell you which fret to put your finger on, and each line corresponds to a string. The lowest note, the low E string, is the one at the one at the bottom, and the highest note is up here. So your chin's here and your feet are here. So think about it that way around. E, A, D, G, B, E. All right? And the chords are shown like that. You've got the open strings in there, so you can see that. And then if you're going to do the C chord, you can see we're not playing that low E, so there's no number on it. We don't even need to put an X, we're just not playing it. And then a D. So you've got a couple of different ways to visually think about these chords. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to play 3 songs with those chords. So get practicing them, try and get each note ringing out nice and clearly. And if you want to dabble with some more chords in the meantime, I've made a playlist of YouTube shorts which I've put together which demonstrate the sound of each chord. They have an illustration of the chord box for each of the chords. There's a sprinkling of music theory in there too, but I would ask you to ignore that for now. I just want you to get used to the sound of the guitar and the fact that you're playing it. I hope that's been useful to you. The next lesson will be right here when you're ready for it, and we'll be taking those 3 chords to learn to play 3 songs.